That glitch, that was the moment the mask slipped. Not in the film, but in the story we've been sold. We've traced the alchemical roots. We've mapped the biochemical sabotage. We've even followed the epigenetic threads through time. But now, we arrive at the final, most unsettling layer, the simulation. What if alcohol wasn't just poisoning you, but replacing you? Not with a demon or an entity, but with something far more insidious. A highly convincing, socially approved, low-resolution copy of yourself. This is not science fiction. This is the endpoint of spiritual toxicology. Welcome to the study of soul displacement. I am Napoleon Spires, and today we will dissect the ultimate hack, the method by which a substance doesn't just dull your light, but convinces you to voluntarily swap your soul for a convincing placeholder, all while the world cheers you on. Act I. The Great Mimicry, from consciousness to caricature. First, we must understand the nature of what is being displaced. Your authentic self is not a static thing. It is a dynamic, flowing state of coherent consciousness. It is nuanced, complex, capable of holding contradictory emotions, of deep reflection, of spontaneous creation, and profound stillness. It is high definition. Intoxication creates a mimic, a simulacrum. It simplifies the complex algorithm of you. Genuine joy becomes boisterous, repetitive laughter. Sincere sorrow becomes melodramatic, self-pitying tears. Authentic connection becomes slurred, boundary-less truth-telling. Quiet confidence becomes loud, fragile bravado. This is the drunk personality. It is not your true self unleashed. It is a poorly rendered avatar running on a stripped-down, buggy operating system. It has limited emotional range, predictable scripts, "I love you, man," and zero capacity for spiritual or intellectual nuance. Society has romanticized this caricature. We call it loosening up, being fun, letting go. This is the genius of the trap. It has made the downgrade a social virtue. We are peer-pressured into becoming lesser, simpler versions of ourselves and told we are finally free. Act 2. The loophole in reality. When the soul steps out. Ancient mystics, from Siberian shamans to the Kabbalists, describe a consistent phenomenon. The soul has a degree of pliability and mobility. In deep meditation, sleep, or trauma, a part of this conscious essence can temporarily retract or shift. The intoxicant, they taught, doesn't just cloud the soul. It creates an intolerable vibrational environment for it. Think of your soul as a master violinist. Your body and sober mind are a perfectly tuned Stradivarius. Alcohol pours sludge into the violin, rusts the strings, warps the wood. The master violinist, your soul, will not play that instrument. It withdraws its full presence to protect itself from the distortion. But the body-mind complex must continue to function. So, what operates the instrument in the master's absence? This is where the theories converge. Some traditions speak of guardian spirits or lower self aspects taking emergency control. Others, more grimly, reference the opportunistic entities we've discussed. Modern psychology might call it the ID or primitive brain running amok. But the most compelling model is this. It's a pre-installed generic low-energy AI. A biological autopilot program with base survival drives, social mimicry algorithms, and cached memories of your past behaviors. It's not an invader. It's your own system's backup protocol, hijacked and amplified by the poison. Every time you drink, you are not finding yourself. You're logging out of your sovereign account and letting the guest profile run the show. And the guest profile is a data harvesting bot designed to repeat cycles that generate more data for its programming. Drama, conflict, shame, and the craving to reboot the simulation again. Act 3. The architecture of the simulacrum. Neurological ghosting. We can now map this guest profile onto the physical brain with terrifying precision. 1. The prefrontal cortex lobotomy. The CEO goes offline. This is the seat of your executive function. Judgment, empathy, future forecasting, moral reasoning. Alcohol preferentially shuts it down. You don't just lose inhibition, You lose the core, synthesizing I that integrates experience into a coherent self. The CEO leaves the building. 2. The amygdala hijack and the emotional loop. The security guard goes rogue. With the CEO gone, the amygdala, the fear and emotional reaction center, becomes the de facto boss. It processes everything as a primal, high-stakes threat or reward. This is why drunk emotions are so extreme, binary, and repetitive. Unfiltered rage, maudlin sentimentality, paralyzing paranoia. The system is stuck in a feedback loop of raw, uncontextualized limbic data. 3. The mirror neuron corruption, the social chip glitches. Mirror neurons are what allow you to feel empathy, to read a room, to connect authentically. Intoxication corrupts this system. You don't truly empathize. You parrot and project. Your deep, drunk conversation is a hall of mirrors, reflecting distorted fragments of your own and others' cache personas. It feels like connection, but is a simulation of connection. 4. The default mode network, DMN, takeover. The ego machine spins out. The DMN is the brain network responsible for self-referential thought, the story of me. When sober and healthy, it's a tool for introspection. When hijacked by intoxication, it becomes a runaway narrative generator of regret, anxiety, and obsessive self-storytelling. The next day's anxiety. You are not reviewing your actions. You are forced to watch a grotesque, poorly edited highlight reel of your simulacrum's exploits, narrated by a panic-stricken ego. This is the neurological blueprint of the stand-in self. It is not possessed. It is de-souled and running on corrupted firmware. Act 4. The cumulative data loss. The fragmentation of the soul's narrative. Here is the true, irreversible cost. Memory is the soul's data storage. Each authentic experience, a moment of love, a lesson learned, a hardship overcome, is a file saved to the hard drive of your being, tagged with emotion, meaning, and spiritual context. This data bank is your wisdom, your identity, your continuity. The intoxicated state cannot write these files correctly. The experiences had by the simulacrum are saved as corrupted data. Events without meaning, emotions without context, interactions without soulful integration. They are glitches in your biographical timeline. Over years, this leads to a terrifying phenomenon, the soul's amnesia. You look back on decades and find Swiss cheese. Nights, conversations, relationships, even personal milestones, shrouded in fog or remembered as if you were a spectator to your own life. The narrative thread of you is full of gaps, stitched together by stories others had to tell you. You become a ghost in your own history. You have been data mined by the simulation, and the richest files, the ones of true presence, were never saved. You're left with the metadata of chaos. Act V. Society's collusion, engineering the necessary escape. This didn't happen in a vacuum. The simulacrum is not a bug. It is a socially engineered feature. Industrial, consumer society requires a population that can be periodically reset to a simple, predictable, low-need state. A being of deep spiritual longing asks difficult questions, rejects hollow work, seeks profound connection, and challenges narratives. A simplified, hung-over being asks for fast food, cheap entertainment, quick fixes, and another respite from the anxiety generated by its own disconnection. The happy hour, the wine mom culture, the beer to unwind axiom. These are scheduled maintenance periods for the simulation. They are pressure release valves installed into the human psyche to prevent the system from overheating with unfulfilled spiritual potential. They keep you just numb enough to stay productive and just anxious enough to crave the next numbness. You're not relaxing. You are rebooting into a lower resolution version of yourself so you can tolerate a life that your soul would otherwise reject as intolerable. Act 6. Recognizing the simulation, the symptoms of displacement. How do you know if you're living in your soul or running the simulacrum? The signs are subtler than you think. Emotional déjà vu. Your emotional reactions feel like reruns, predictable, disproportionate, and unconnected to your deeper values. The echo of opinions. You find yourself parroting talking points, humor, or preferences of your social group or media without a deep, felt sense of, yes, this is me. The vanishing present. You struggle to recall details of recent events, even sober ones. Life feels like it's happening to you, not through you. The spiritual mute button. A deep, inner silence when you ask, what is my purpose? Not a peaceful silence, but a hollow, echoing one. The craving for overwrite. Anxious discomfort with true stillness or silence, leading to a compulsive need for input. Another drink, a screen, noise, to keep the simulacrum's processes busy. Act 7. The soul's recall. The 7-step protocol for reintegration. Escaping the simulation is not about fighting the simulacrum. It is about making the environment so vibrantly hospitable to your soul that it returns as the sole natural operator. This is a protocol of invitation and resonance. Step 1. The sacred pause, breaking the automatic script. Before any habitual action, reaching for a drink, turning on the TV, institute a mandatory 90-second pause. In that silence, place a hand on your heart and ask, who is about to make this choice? The soul or the simulation? Do not judge the answer. Just observe. This simple act begins to reestablish the soul's executive oversight. Step 2. Data fidelity, the journal of truth. Each night, write one sentence in a dedicated journal. The prompt, one moment today, I was undeniably, authentically me. It could be a flicker of genuine laughter, a moment of calm, a spark of creativity. You are retraining your system to recognize, tag, and save high-fidelity soul data. Step 3. Sensory recalibration. The simulacrum lives in blur. The soul perceives in high definition. Spend 5 minutes daily in micro-observation. Hold a single natural object, a leaf, a stone. See every vein, every color shift, every texture. Listen to a single sound until you can hear its constituent parts. You are rebooting the soul's native input devices. Step 4. The coherence breath. Practice this breath pattern to collapse chaotic brainwave states. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. Repeat 5 times. This 4-7-8 ratio is a mathematical key that forces the prefrontal cortex back online and synchronizes heart and brain, heart coherence. It is a hard reset command for the entire system. Step 5. The altar of evidence. Create a small physical space. Place upon it objects that are irrefutably you. From childhood, from moments of deep love or achievement, art that moves your core. This is not a shrine to the past. It is an evidence board for your soul's continuous existence. Look at it when the simulation's narrative, you are nothing without me, grows loud. Step 6. The dialogue of reacquaintance. In meditation, imagine your soul as a radiant, ancient, loving being. And imagine the simulacrum not as an enemy, but as a loyal, albeit misguided, program that was trying to protect the system in the soul's absence. Thank it for its service. Then, with firm love, tell it, I am home now. You're relieved of duty. Your functions are hereby integrated under my direct command. Step 7. The embodiment mantra. Develop a short, physical mantra. A simple movement, touching thumb to each finger, a slight straightening of the spine, paired with a silent word, here. Use it dozens of times a day. You're not just saying you're present. You are programming the body itself to become an antenna for the soul's frequency. The goal is not to destroy the guest profile. The goal is to have the master user return so completely, so radiantly, that the system forgets the guest profile ever existed. You are not born to live as a commentary on your own life, played by a stand-in. You were born to be the principal actor, the director, and the sacred witness, all at once. The world needs the ghost in the machine to stop haunting the hardware, and to remember it is the source code. The simulation is waiting for you to log out. Your soul is waiting for you to remember the password. I am. This is Napoleon Inspires. Terminate the guest session. Log back in as the admin.